I'm sure the Apostle Paul faced a lot of similar things that are going on today in our world. So I thought, since his words are in the Bible, I might read that. Been having a lot of conversations about this with people. But this is from 2 Corinthians chapter 1. It's the second time he's written to the Corinthian church. Mainly because this particular church had divisions and problems, which he tried to address in 1 Corinthians. But by the time of the second letter, there were still problems. So, in verse 1, he just talks about who the letter's to. And then I'm going to start verse 3. Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of compassion and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God. For just as we share abundantly in the sufferings of Christ, so also our comfort abounds through Christ. If we are distressed, it is for your comfort and salvation. If we are comforted, it is for your comfort, which produces in you patient endurance of the same sufferings we suffer. And our hope for you is firm, because we know that just as you share in our sufferings, so also you share in our comfort. We do not want you to be uninformed, brothers and sisters, about the troubles we experienced in the province of Asia. We were under great pressure, far beyond our ability to endure, so that we despaired of life itself. I imagine there were times when Paul and the persecuted Christians of that day were saying, "We can't breathe." Verse 9, indeed, we felt we had received the sentence of death. But this happened that we might not rely on ourselves, but on God, who raises the dead. He has delivered us from such a deadly peril, and he will deliver us again. On him we have set our hope, that he will continue to deliver us. As you help us by your prayers, then many will give thanks on our behalf for the gracious favor granted us in the answer to the prayers of many. So, as many of you know, I just keep praying and ask you to keep praying, so we can have all kinds of conversations. And I believe those are really important, to empathize with one another as humans, because we're honestly all oppressed in one way or another. But the main overall humankind oppression is to be under the curse or the oppression of sin. And there's only one solution to that. So, Jesus just summed it up. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. So the reason that that's hard is because of sin. Many people think that that's because of skin color, and that's, maybe I would feel that way too if my skin was a different color in this country. But we're talking about all over the world where, there's people marching and protesting. That's their right. It's their freedom, and I'm so thankful for that. And, well, I'm just going to leave it there because I don't have any answers. I just know that there's a lot of truth in this book right here. And we're focusing in pretty heavily on some societal problems, but they're not new problems. They started back in here, in this book. So So I guess we have to focus on the problems of the day, but and we could do our part to love our neighbor. Love our neighbor. Listen to your neighbor. Listen to your friends who want to speak to you about issues. There are some that, you know, don't think we need to get involved because of our skin color or because we're the church or whatever. And that's okay. It's, but have the conversations and just know that the society isn't the ultimate fix. It's just not going to be able to fix it. It hasn't so far. So, keep praying. And, the thing about, if you read Romans, I think it's chapter 3, verse 10. It's like really depressing to read because it talks about how there is none righteous, and then it goes down this list of, the poison of vipers being on our lips, and that our feet run to shed blood, and ruin and misery marks our ways. I mean, it's just really depressing. But it speaks to all being unrighteous, none righteous. That's what God says. It's the whole reason Jesus came to shed his blood, because it's only his blood that was shed that gives us any righteousness at all. It's his righteousness that we receive because of his blood, not because of anything we've done. So that's the good news of Romans, So just read through that, It's, like I said, it's uncomfortable. But we do have to come to grips with the fact that, we're all under this same earthly curse, and it affects everything. I mean, think of all the things that are abused and misused and cursed, under the curse. I mean, it's in every corner of life. So the battle is definitely spiritual. Very, very interesting these times. So keep praying.